Hello there. So today being World Birth Defects Day, I have been joined by Esther Masika and of course her beautiful daughter Tunu in light of creating awareness across the world on birth defects, their causes and their impact on society. Esther is going to highlight her story and of course her journey with Tunu, who is just I think 1 year and 6 months, and she was born with defects. Welcome so much, Esther.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Right
and
away.
Tunu here.
Yeah, of course. Hi, Tunu. So right away, could you kindly just tell our viewers how it was for you with Tunu, and now that today we are celebrating this day, the steps that you have taken so far?
Okay, so Tunu was born in 2019 and I had a pretty normal pregnancy. It's at birth that we discovered she has a congenital anomaly. It was actually the first day we ever had of a birth defect. And right from that day one, they began treatment on Tunu because she was diagnosed with bilateral clubfoot, and it's a treatment that requires 6 weeks of casting, and then she moves on to this particular shoe, which she wears for 3 months plus for 23 hours. Then she moves down to 12 hours.
I'm sorry, I have to ask,
Yeah.
when Tunu was born, when you saw her for the first time, how was she looking? So that the viewers can really understand when you talk about birth defects, what we are exactly saying.
Okay, so Tunu was born with a fracture on her right arm, and then her hands were behind her back, and she had her feet facing her chin, which is what the bilateral clubfoot is. But it was very disheartening because this is not the child you are expecting, and none of the scans indicated that there was anything wrong with her. So to find that out at birth was pretty difficult for us. We didn't know what to do, which steps we need to take. So we are at the mercy of the doctors, because now they were like, okay, this is what we are going to do. You go online to look for information. It's very scanty information. Even the doctors that are who you'd be referred to are all, in the Western countries. So it took us a very long time before we did find a specialist clinic, of which we found, luckily, in Nairobi. But she was at 9 months, and on seeing the child, they're like, no, she has to begin this process all over again, which means 6 weeks of casting, 3 months of wearing this shoe for 23 hours, and then moving down to 12 hours.
And just quickly, what does the shoe exactly do for Tunu?
So the shoe keeps the feet in place once they've been straightened out. So a normal foot faces outward. It's straight, but it faces outward. So this shoe is to maintain her feet in that position, right? Until she starts walking, and the time is spent less and less and less wearing the shoe. So ideally by 5 years, she should have outgrown wearing the bar and brace.
Briefly, just tell us the challenges of raising Tunu, and you obviously have an organization that you work with other parents who go through the same. How has it been for you and for the other parents?
It's been very tough because of a lack of information, a lack of a clear referral system. So you don't know where to go. So there's a lot of delayed intervention that comes in between. The children who you'd find by 3 months, had they begun their process at day 1, that by 3 months they are where Tunu is today. You can imagine. So I don't want any other mother having to go through this journey. First, we'd advocate for birth defects prevention, which means before preconception education. Go for your preconception education. Find out your family history. Eat right. Stop abusing substances when you know you are planning to have a baby, because it will be fatal It can prove fatal for even the mom and the child. So you find the first trimester is the most crucial trimester when you're giving in the whole pregnancy journey, because most birth defects, and brain formation takes place within the first trimester. But many people sadly do not know that they're expecting unless, because they've missed the period and things like that. So you find you've been maybe taking medication that would be harmful to your child, but you did not know that you're pregnant. So, those are some of the steps that we can take to actively ensure that you minimize the risk of giving birth to a child with a birth defect. Yeah.
So far, how has it been, the steps you have taken. Obviously, there's been growth. Hi, Tunu.
Yeah.
What is the growth you can say you have seen with Tunu and the therapies and that you've been taking care of her?
Okay, I've seen a lot of growth. Luckily, there are skilled doctors who are available in Nairobi. We have a specialist clinic that we've been taking Tunu, Kiwa Kenya, and Kiwa Kenya walk the journey with you. Like literally, I cannot miss an appointment. They will call and be like, "Hi, you've missed an appointment. What happened on that day?" And you figure out a better way to do it. Money, financially, it's been very expensive. In fact, before we got to the specialist clinic, because you're dealing with so many doctors, and this doctor wants to know what the other doctor is doing and the other doctor is doing, and it has been difficult. But when you're in a specialist center, then they are keeping track of how the baby is doing. And so Tunu is well. She began her journey at day 1. She relapsed in between. But now she's at a stage where she doesn't have to wear this shoe for 23 hours. She's now down to 12 hours. So we can see her growth mentally. We can see her playing. She's now learning words. She sings along to her lullaby. So we are quite pleased with ourselves. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, or viewers, this is just in light of creating awareness to the society on birth defects, their causes, and of course their impacts. And we have been joined by Esther. Thank you so much, Esther, for joining us. We're going to have more of this discussion in our bulletins. You keep tuned into Switch TV. And of course, happy Birth Defects Day to Tunu and her mother, and to all those out there who are celebrating also the same challenges. We celebrate you, and you are our heroes.
Yeah.